Hello, groovers and melody makers. Welcome back to another episode of Deep Grooves and Vintage Melodies. I want to thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed the new intro. On today's video, we are going to be talking about an album that I have fallen in love with. It is an album I found at my local record store for $1. I ended up finding out that the copy I have, which is, I believe, an original first pressing in mono, it sells for over $100 on Discogs. Don't know why. That's what people are asking for it. Don't know why. But we're going to be talking about an album. This is Teresa Teng. The top of it says the modern popular songs of modern China. That is not the album title. The album title is Fengyang Flower Drum. I don't know how to say it. I tried to learn it before the video, but it's Chinese. It's a little difficult. So we'll just say this is Fengyang Flower Drum. That's what it translated to. It's Fengyang Flower Drum. So this is Teresa Teng. This album is amazing. This album really, honestly, I bought it and I checked it out. First time I got it and I was like, well, I don't know about this. And I listened to it and then I put it back and didn't touch it for a few months. Then put it on again a few months later and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Just that first song, which you heard in the intro, part of it, that first song just at that moment spoke to me in my soul. And I've been a huge fan ever since. I plan to try to own every album she's ever released because her music just is that good. It's, I love a lot of male artists. I love a lot of female artists. I don't judge an artist based on their gender, based on anything other than their musical ability. And even some artists I like have zero musical ability, but you can tell that they love what they're doing, so they don't really care that they don't sound good. And I love that kind of stuff, but she actually sounds really good. So what is this music? This music would be considered Mando Pop. Mando Pop. I haven't done much research on Mando Pop yet, but it's basically so I can't give any kind of dates of when it started or anything like that, but Mando Pop is pretty much just Chinese pop music, or I think Mandarin pop music, so I think it's all done in Mandarin, and what it is basically, it's almost like a mixing of pop music and traditional Chinese music, traditional Chinese, I guess, opera music, or just traditional Chinese music in general. So this album is a very fantastic album. All the songs are different. You get some songs that have really rockin' drums, ba ba pa ba ba pa, like in the song you heard in the intro, da 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 da. Or then you get other songs that sound more close to traditional Chinese music, but that do have a little bit of pop vibe to them. So, looking at this record, I just love, you look at a lot of record covers, and a lot of times, people talk about stuff like Led Zeppelin 4 as being an iconic album cover, or Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, and there's like Tattoo Me or whatever by the Rolling Stones is considered another great album cover. And there's, tons of others out there where the album cover itself, it's like seen as the album cover is amazing. But I think this one is amazing for a few reasons. One, if you look at the album cover, you have the picture of Teresa Teng, but it's got this almost 3D box around it. And I love that. I also love this, what looks like a sign pointing in different directions to get to different places, and then I just like the colors. The colors are just, in my opinion, really really cool, and it's unique. I have never seen another record that looked anything like this. You always see the really well drawn out fantasy artwork and all this and that, but you never see anything. In my opinion, I've never really seen anything that looked like this. Secondly, the songs on this record hold up. In fact, I would be hard-pressed to find a song on this album that I didn't like at least a 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. Most of these songs are a 10 out of 10. In fact, the whole album I give a 10 out of 10, even though some songs are not, like the songs with the drums that go ba 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 ba, the ones that sound more like pop music mixed with Chinese instruments, like some Chinese flutes and things like that. Those are the ones that are full 10 out of 10. The ones that sound more traditional, a lot of those are 10 out of 10, but a few of those, like maybe one or two, I'd put it like 9 out of 10 or maybe 8 out of 10. But that doesn't mean the album sucks. The album as a whole, all together, when you look at the sum of its parts, the artwork, the back artwork, and the music, it gets a 10 out of 10. The music is a very good mix of traditional Chinese music. I'm not sure exactly what style, but traditional Chinese music and pop music. When you listen to the songs that have the drums and sound like a pop song, they just sound so unique and so original. And the drummer, I don't know, just there's something about the drummer in this record that I just love. The way he drums, it's just perfect to me. I don't know why, but I just find his drumming just perfect because it's not too technical. And I mean, I love technical drummers. John Bonham, I'm not really a Led Zeppelin fan, but John Bonham, at least I'm not anymore, I used to be. But John Bonham was a very technical drummer, and that's cool, and I like stuff like that, and I like technical jazz drummers and all that, but sometimes the most simple drummer is actually the best. I mean, you listen to the drummer on this record, he's simple and understated, and he's not doing anything too, crazy on the drums, but it just works. It's just so perfect. And every time I listen to this, I have to play my air drums because it speaks to me. So I highly recommend this record. And if I was to rate this record out of 5, let's say we rate it out of 5 records. The scoring will be out of 5 records. What do I rate it? 1 through 5, and I give this a 5 out of 5 records. Let's say the records, because this is Deep Grooves and Vintage Melodies, so let's have our rating be a record. So a 5 out of 5 on the record scale is what I give this amazing album. Teresa Teng, great album. You can find it on Discogs for sale. The only copies I've seen are the original pressings. There's 2. One of them's going for over $100, and one of them's going for over $400 after shipping. So you'll be hard pressed to afford it, but if you can afford it, it's worth it. They released it again on CD later on. It's not available right now, but you can always check out here on YouTube. There are songs available from this album. So I highly recommend it. If you can get this album, definitely do it. Excuse me. Thank you, Groovers and Melody Makers. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a like and a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. And again, the record for today by Teresa Teng.